Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on February the 10th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So coming up on Tuesday, we have tons of red data here. We have preliminary GDP numbers out of UK, and we also have trade balance numbers out of UK. So these numbers are very important, especially now after the Brexit. If we see that the numbers are dropping, that will be negative for a British pound because it will then bring up more concerns in regards to the state of the economy post-Brexit. So here this data will be important. So again, if the numbers are below forecast here, we'll see British pound drop as a result. And then in the New York session, we do have both ECB, President Lagarde speaking, as well as Fed Chair Powell testifying here. So with this one, even though it should not be anything different than what they have said already, however, every time we have central bankers talking, we can see a move in the market. So keep an eye out for any comments that come out of these speeches, especially if they express concerns in regards to the coronavirus and its impact on the economy, or if they talk about downgrading the forecast for the year. So any of that stuff will be negative, and we could see euro and even the US dollar, if they talk about cutting interest rates and stuff like that, that would have a negative impact on on the US dollar. So we also have Bank of England, Governor Carney speaking. So three central bankers here pretty much back to back. So expect volatility in the market here. Right now, Bank of England has not been talking about cutting rates. So if we see that there is a negative impact, or if they're concerned about the economy post-Brexit, then it would give rise to these expectations of interest rate cuts. So keep an eye on that. And then we have a bunch of FOMC members speaking. In the evening here in the Asian session, we do have Reserve Bank of New Zealand, monetary policy statement, press conference. Not expecting to see an interest rate cut at this time. However, because of the coronavirus, there is a direct impact on New Zealand economy, because China is a close trade partner with both Australia and New Zealand. So both of these economies will be impacted by the coronavirus and its impact, and that's why we have seen both Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar drop. So if we hear any kind of concerns from the Reserve Bank of New Zealand in regards to Chinese economy and the impact from coronavirus, or we hear that they're cutting the forecast for the upcoming this year, then growth forecast. So that would be negative for New Zealand dollar. But on the flip side, if they express confidence in the economy and that things will work themselves out, that would be positive for New Zealand dollar. All right, so let's move on to our charts. So first thing to keep in mind here is we are still seeing an impact from coronavirus. The number of deaths have gone up to over 1,000 now. And the number of infections, I believe, have gone down to close to 10,000. So there is an increase in the numbers, in both of those numbers. And there's no vaccine yet. There's no cure at this point. So markets actually in this risk-off mode where we are seeing more flows into the safe haven assets. That's why we are seeing US dollar go up, and everything's been dropping against the US dollar. So euro has dropped a fair bit here. Now we do have a bearish bias today as well. We see that we have a nice bearish candle close here. So bias is to the downside. In terms of the pullback, we could get a pullback potentially into 1.0920, and then looking for a further drop here into 1.0880. Now that will be an important support level. So keep an eye on that level. As we can see, price has not been at this level since August of 2019, but prior to that, it was in 2017. So we are into some multi-year levels here. So keep that in mind. Bias is bearish. 1.0880 is the target here. Pound dollar here, this is also looking bearish. So especially if it holds below 1.2950, then this is bearish. Right now it's been going sideways, but as we can see, it's holding below this 1.2950. So as long as it holds below this level, bias will be bearish. And next target here is 1.2830. And then below that, we are looking at 1.2770. So bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one's also bearish here. We see that price is making lower highs. Now it is into resistance. So if price stays below 0.6700, I will look for it to drop further here. First target is just the base of this candle at 0.6660. And then below that, we are looking at, we have to go back quite a bit here. Below that, we have 0.6520. So bias is bearish for Aussie dollar here. Now, on the other hand, though, if it goes through this 0.6700 level, then this one could go all the way into 0.6720. Or I should say 0.6690. It can go to 0.6720 or even higher into 0.6750. So keep an eye on this support and resistance level at 0.6690. But overall bias is bearish here. New Zealand dollar here, this one is looking bearish at the moment. We have a nice bearish candle close here and looking for it to drop further. First target is 0.6360 and second target 0.6320. So bias here is bearish. And in terms of the pullback, we could get a pullback into 0.6400. So keep an eye on that. But overall bias here is to the downside here. And again, this is being impacted by the issues with coronavirus and the impact on the Chinese economy. So if Chinese economy is not doing so well, New Zealand dollar doesn't do as well because that has a negative impact on New Zealand as well. So bias is bearish for New Zealand dollar here. Dollar CAD here, this one is looking bullish. Now it is into resistance and it's been here for some time now. So I would say bullish bias, but I would be careful with this one because we are into some strong resistance. This is where price kept turning around. It has done that multiple times. So we could see a turn here. So keep that in mind. But once we see the price go through the resistance, next target here is 1.3360. And above that, we are looking at 1.3380, so bias is bullish. Now, on the other hand, though, this has been kind of going sideways here. We could also get this type of a move and price can become range bound. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. If it doesn't break the high, then I'm looking for price to be range bound here and then it could potentially turn. But for now, bias is bullish, but with caution. All right, let's take a look at our commodities here. Silver is just going sideways here. It hasn't really done much. We have this pennant type of formation here. It's just getting squeezed at the moment, and we'll have to see a break to either side. It can't just hold there forever. So with this one, my bias is neutral here. We just need to see which direction the price wants to go in. If it breaks through the high here, then we can see it go all the way further. But if it breaks through the support here, that's what we're looking for. So at this point, bias is neutral for silver. And I'm going to mark my levels on either side here. So if it breaks through 17.85, we're going into 18.15, but if it breaks to the downside, I'm looking at 17.30. So for now, neutral bias for silver. Gold here, gold is looking neutral as well, though we have an indecision candle here. And if it holds below 1577, chances are very high that it drops further towards 1548 or even 1546 here. So at this point, this is looking neutral. We need to see, does it break the high of the today's candle or the low? And that's the direction we'll have to take with this one. So neutral bias for gold as well. Oil has had a bearish day, but we are still in that range that it's been trading in. We are into the bottom of that range at 49.50. So at this point, bias is bearish, but as we can see, it is trading in a range. So if it doesn't break through the support, it can go back up towards the top of the range, towards 51.70, but bias is to the downside. Next target is 48.20, and then we have 47. So bearish bias for oil, but again with caution because we're right into the bottom here. Copper here, copper, we see that price has rejected the support resistance level and is holding below 2.53. So at this point, we'll have to just wait and see. This is looking neutral here. So we do have bullishness in the candle, but we also have a long wick on top. So in this case, bias is neutral. If it goes through today's high, I'm looking for it to go further into 2.56 and potentially even higher into 2.58. But on the other hand, if it breaks through the, if it holds below 2.53, then we have a lot of room to the downside and it can drop further towards 2.46. So right now, bias is neutral for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin did a nice move to the upside, but today we do have a bearish candle close. So we could see a drop here. First target is 95.50. And then second target is 9100. So bias is bearish for Bitcoin here. All right, let's take a look at equities now. Equities are looking bullish, especially with our US equities here. Price has been going higher, big bullish day for the markets, and it's right into resistance now. So if price breaks through 3350, 3350-ish level here, then we're looking at 3400 as the next target. So bias is bullish, but just be careful at the high. If it doesn't break it, I will look for it to go towards 3300. But right now, momentum is to the upside, and we could see price go further. So keep an eye on that. Bias right now is bullish for S&P 500. NASDAQ, same thing here. It's at all-time highs. It's gone through this previous resistance, and it is looking quite bullish here. In terms of the target here, I'm looking at 9600 as the first target, and then above that we've got 9700 as the next one. So bias is bullish for NASDAQ as well, looking quite bullish here actually. And then we have DAX here, not DAX, Dow Jones. This is looking bullish as well. Price held above this support level and now it's moving higher back towards the previous highs here. So strong bullish candle close today. Next target is 29,400. And then we have 29,530. So bias is bullish here for Dow Jones. DAX here, DAX is going sideways at the moment, but it's holding here. It's holding above this support level here, which means this one could go higher as well. So I would say bullish bias here towards 13,620 level. So for DAX as well, bias is bullish. And then FTSE here, we did have a bullish candle close. It's still, actually, let me take a look here. Yeah, it was bullish candle close here. And as we can see, it's holding above this previous support resistance level, which is an important level here. So this one looks bullish. And next target here is 74.80 and then 75.30. So FTSE looking bullish as well. And Nikkei here, Nikkei actually it is in decision candle here, but price seems to be testing the highs once again, and it looks bullish at the moment. So I'm going to say neutral here because the actual candle close is neutral for the day, but it does have bullishness in it. So if it breaks the high, I will look for it to go all the way into 24,000, and then above that we've got 24,100. 24,180. So bias right now is neutral for Nikkei. All right, so that's it for today. Have a wonderful trading day for tomorrow, and I'll see